a champion, a champion.
I'm moving to be closer to my new job, but before I move, I want to get rid of that excess clutter that I've accumulated over the past 2 years living in this apartment. I wanted to make the moving process a little bit smoother and also to simplify my life. And I recognize that not everyone will want to use this method, and that's okay because we're all different. However, for me, my level of stress is reduced when I'm living in a clean, organized, and clutter-free environment. So I've made some modifications to the KonMari Method to fit my lifestyle, and I wanted to share my modifications to this method and my planner destash process with you today. My first step in my planner destash process is to define the space that the items need to fit in. And you want to try to store like items with like items in order to avoid having duplicates of those items. For example, I sometimes will buy more than one of the same item, like washi, because I don't realize that I already have a roll. But if I were to store them all in exactly the same space in the same room, then I would be less likely to make that mistake. So when I first moved into this apartment, I started off storing all my planner items in one drawer, and now it's expanded to storing in that drawer plus the ottoman, under the couch, in my closet, under the bed, and in the bookcase. So it's kind of getting a little out of hand, and I'm sure my husband Andrew agrees with that. So right now, my plan is going to be to try to scale down how much stuff I have sitting around and try to store it all in one area in my living room, which is where I keep the office chest, which is right behind me. And then when I move into my new apartment, I will create a special craft station. So my husband Andrew and I created this free planner printable. So there is a guideline that you can cut out so that it's sized for your happy planner, and then you can just punch holes in the side here, or you could simply, if you don't have a hole punch for your happy planner or any other planner that you have, you could just simply glue it onto a page like a page that you're not using in your planner, like the month at a glance page perhaps, which I'm not really using that much right now. And on here I have main categories and subcategories. So for example, here we have adhesives like glue, adhesive tape, and washi. And these main categories represent everything that I'm going to be laying out at the same time. So I'm going to get all my glue sticks out, all of my adhesive tapes out, and all my washi tape out and lay it out on the floor at the same time to see what I have. And I'm just listing the subcategories just so I know what falls into that main category. So I'm giving this away as a free printable, and if you'd like access to it, then you can check out the link in the description box below. And I recognize that we're not all going to have the same categories is what I have listed on here because we all own different items, but I thought this might be a good starting point for some of you in case you're interested. The next step that I took is to pull out all the items that fall into that collection and go through it all at once. So like I was saying, I am going to get out a white sheet just so I don't get anything on my carpet, and I'm going to place it on the floor and then go through each of these categories one at a time. And the order that you go through is going to depend on what you prefer. So my tip is to start off with something that's easy and not too large of a collection. So for example, I may go through my cutting instruments because it's just scissors, my paper cutter, and my hole punches. And that should be relatively easy to go through. And then you have a quick win to start you off and get you motivated to keep going. I also recommend that you don't try to tackle all of this in one day, especially if you have a lot to go through. I'm personally going to break this up into a little bit each day this week, and I'll show you as I go through each collection what that looks like. And so, for example, looking at the washi tape, so right now some of it was originally all supposed to be stored in that drawer in the same place, but as time has progressed, my washi tape has started moving into the living room and some's in my room. So when I go through that, I'm going to get it out of each of the places where it's stored so that I can see the whole collection at the same time, make sure I don't have any duplicates. And then step 4 is to only keep the items that you need or that you use regularly, or that, as KonMari says, sparks joy in you. So something that brings you enjoyment. I would recommend taking a look at each of the items and seeing, have I used this within the past year or so? Set some sort of cutoff for the last time you use it or the next time you expect to use it as kind of your determining factor of whether or not you actually need this item. So for example, I have a candle that I haven't used in 10 years still left over. I can probably get rid of that because it's just collecting dust in the back of my closet right now. Or I can give it to a charity like Goodwill, or give it to a friend or family member who likes candles and is okay with something that's gently used. And that's where most of the items are going to end up going, or to Goodwill. Most of my planner stuff will probably go to my mom and my friends, who I also talked into getting happy planners, so they'll enjoy these items, whereas for me they're kind of just taking up space right now. I'm going to recommend that you get out maybe a box or a bag to put the items that you are getting rid of aside and out of the way. And you also, please try not to feel guilty about getting rid of things, especially things that you are never going to use. And I personally feel really guilty when I get rid of hand-me-downs or gifts that were given to me even over 10 years ago that I haven't used. For example, that candle was something given to me by a friend that I haven't even seen in over 10 years. But I feel like I'm not being appreciative of the gift if I just get rid of it. But at the same time, it would be better if someone who is going to use that item has access to it and it is getting used, instead of being stored away, never looked at, and just collecting dust. Like I said, it really helps me to de-stress, to try to have a cleaner, less cluttery environment. When you go through your pen collection specifically, I recommend testing out each of your pens or markers or highlighters on a piece of paper. For me, my pens dry out all the time, and right now I probably have tons of pens that don't even work. So that will help you figure out which pens need to be thrown away. 5, after you've gone through all your collections and you've given them to people who will use those items, then you can now assemble it into your new storage space. So remember, the whole point of this is trying to whittle down all of your items so that they can all be stored in an easily accessible location, so that when you use it, you can easily take it out, and it's also very easy to put back away. If you'd like to see more organization videos, please let me know in the comments down below. I really appreciate your feedback and for you taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. And hopefully this video inspired you to tackle an organization project in your home. If you'd like to see more planner ideas, please check out my Instagram @PersonalizeMyPlanner, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye!
I'm bringing back the fire.